Lecture hall, third row. A laptop screen glows on a young woman's face, her fingers a blur across the keyboard. She's catching every single word her professor says, word for word, verbatim. Fastest hands in the room. Cut to 3 days later. Same girl, same notes open in front of her, staring at sentences she apparently heard that now mean absolutely nothing to her. One seat over, a different notebook, handwriting slanted, half-finished, whole words abandoned mid-sentence, one page mostly blank space. That student closes her eyes, and the lecture plays back almost perfectly. Same room, same professor, same 90 minutes. 2 brains walked out that door, and the one holding fewer words remembered more of them. That shouldn't be possible, and it's happening in classrooms and boardrooms right now, completely unnoticed. Researchers split a room of students in 2, laptops for half, notebooks for half. Same lecture, same seat, same voice. A week later, they came back to test what actually stuck. The laptop notes were thicker, denser, nearly word for word. Then came one simple ask. Explain the idea back to me. And the laptop users went silent. The handwriters didn't. Less on the page, more in the head. Somebody broke the rules here, and it wasn't the students with the messy notebooks. Here's the image that explains everything. Your brain isn't a filing cabinet. It's a muscle. It only grows where it's forced to strain. Watch a typist's hands. Same motion, same rhythm, letters firing off before the sentence even forms behind them. That's not thinking. That's a copy machine with fingerprints. Now watch the pen. It slows, hovers. A visible half-second where the hand waits for the brain to catch up, because no one can scrawl as fast as a professor talks. In that gap, your brain is doing something a keyboard never asks of it, choosing what's actually worth keeping. There's a term for this: desirable difficulty. Friction isn't sand in the gears. Friction is the grip that makes the tires move at all. Here's the strange part. Your keyboard was actually built with friction once. QWERTY wasn't designed for speed. It was designed to slow typists down, spacing out common letters so mechanical arms wouldn't jam. The friction was engineered in on purpose. Then muscle memory did what muscle memory does. It erased the friction anyway. Your fingers learned to fly over a layout built to slow them down, and the moment they did, the thinking stopped. There's a second, quieter reason handwriting wins, and it has nothing to do with speed. Psychologists call it the generation effect. In a decades-old experiment, people were split into 2 groups and shown pairs of related words. One group simply read the second word off a screen. The other group had to generate it themselves, filling in a blank from a clue. Same information, same pairs. But the group that had to produce the word, build it, not just receive it, remembered it far better on every test that followed. Typing hands you the finished word the moment you press the key. Handwriting makes you generate it, letter by letter, stroke by stroke, every single time. You're not copying language, you're manufacturing it, and your brain keeps what it manufactures. Now picture someone lying inside an fMRI machine, asked to write the alphabet by hand. On the monitor, a region of the brain floods with color, the fusiform gyrus wired straight into memory. Same person, same letters, now typed. The screen goes dark. That's why a 5-year-old tracing a shaky A with a pencil will recognize that same letter 20 years later in a stranger's rushed cursive. The shape isn't what got remembered. The motion is. There's an odd historical footnote here. In the 1880s, a philosopher's failing eyesight forced him onto one of the earliest typewriters, tapping out his ideas blind instead of scrawling them by hand. A friend noticed something unsettling almost immediately. His writing itself had changed. Shorter, sharper, almost telegraphic. The philosopher agreed. Our writing tools are also working on our thoughts. He wasn't speaking metaphorically. Nietzsche's own sentences had physically reshaped themselves around the machine. That's the part nobody warns you about. The tool doesn't just record the thought, it edits the thinker. There's an even stranger case of a brain being physically reshaped by a hand-based skill, and it has nothing to do with writing at all. Neuroscientists once scanned the brains of London taxi drivers, Men and women who'd spent years memorizing every street in a city with no logical grid, no straightforward pattern, just 25,000 streets held entirely in memory. Their hippocampus, the brain's memory center, was measurably larger than everyone else's. Not from birth. It grew. Built by years of forcing the brain to actively construct a mental map instead of letting a device do it. Then, GPS became standard equipment, and a follow-up study found something uncomfortable. Drivers who leaned on turn-by-turn navigation showed reduced activity in that exact same region. The moment they stopped generating the map themselves, the brain stopped bothering to build the machinery for it. Handwriting is doing the same quiet construction project, sentence by sentence, note by note. Every page is a street you had to memorize instead of a route a machine drove for you. Picture a courtroom stenographer, fingers moving faster than speech, 200 words a minute, every syllable captured with perfect accuracy. Now stop her 5 minutes later. Ask what was just said. Blank stare. Her hands hold the entire testimony. Her mind holds none of it. In 2013, a psychologist ran a version of this in an art museum. Visitors touring the galleries were told to either photograph certain objects or simply look at them. The next day, tested on what they'd actually seen, the photographers remembered noticeably less, not more. The camera did the remembering, so their brains quietly declined the job. There's a far more serious version of this same finding happening in hospitals. Occupational therapists working with stroke patients, people who've lost portions of language or motor function, often reach for something surprisingly old-fashioned, a pen. Relearning to physically form letters helps rebuild neural pathways in ways that tapping a screen simply doesn't reach. The hand, it turns out, isn't just a tool the brain uses. In a real sense, damaged brains are rebuilt through the hand. If handwriting can help repair a broken brain, what exactly are we giving up by never fully using a healthy one? Now picture your own day. A meeting doc, typed, closed, never reopened. A whiteboard photo dying 30 scrolls deep in your camera roll. A textbook page drowned in yellow highlighter, the color of feeling productive while remembering nothing. We built a civilization obsessed with capturing moments, and almost incapable of keeping any of them. Because this was never really about notebooks. It's about one fork in the road, repeating hundreds of times a page. What deserves your attention, and what doesn't? Handwriting forces that fork every few seconds. Typing paves right over it. No decision, no cost, no friction. Until the day you reach for a memory that was never built, and your hand comes back empty. This isn't a case against technology. When speed is the mission, let the keyboard fly. But when the mission is understanding, carving something into yourself instead of just storing it, the pen is doing something no processor has ever replicated. Sit with that for a second. A $5,000 laptop, quietly outperformed by 11 cents of ink and wood. We didn't just speed up how we take notes. We redrew the line for what our own brains bother to keep. So here's the image worth sitting with, long after this ends. Somewhere, right now, a child is growing up who may never form the daily habit of a pen moving across paper. And no one alive today can show you the scan of what that brain, 20 years from now, will have silently forgotten how to do.